Thursday, the 16th of May. Welcome, everyone, to Business Morning. It's another day here on Business and Market Street on Channels Television. I am Bosun Omofaye. Let's get the show started. Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. According to the Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, who told the Senate Screening Committee on Wednesday about what he called, quote, rough and very tough, end of quote, road ahead for the national economy. Godwin Emefiele says the road ahead is still rough and very tough. According to him, quote, he says, I worry, and I do think that we all should worry, that a lot of work needs to be done to make sure that we are able to put in place policies that will make life good for millions of Nigerians. Emefiele's rough and tough talk was based on the latest IMF and World Bank recent economic outlook on Nigeria at the last spring meetings, where the population for Nigeria is forecast at 425 million by the year 2050. Emefiele is worried that with this rising population, we need to provide adequate economic prosperity for all. Well, Godwin Emefiele is rough and tough. It sounds like those words or those sentiments expressed by President Buhari, who, after the 2019 general elections, reportedly told cabinet members who congratulated him when he was quoted as saying, quote, my last lap of 4 years, I think is going to be tough. People are very forgetful, and that's why during the campaign, I spoke about our cardinal agenda. So, Mr. President believes that the time will be tough ahead, and that was re-echoed yesterday by the Central Bank Chief Godwin Emefiele in screening for a second term of 5 years in office. Meantime, President Buhari's cabinet meeting of yesterday focused more on infrastructure, such as the $1 billion China Exim loan for the Gurara 2 hydropower project, but no word yet on the budget 2019, which has been finalized by the Senate, and now waiting the signature of Mr. President. And providing more clarity to the new National Microfinance Bank, NIPOST says the new partnership with the new National Microfinance Bank is a project of Central Bank and Bankers Committee and will not affect the postal services negatively. According to NIPOST, the microfinance bank will not be managed by NIPOST or owners' institutions, and all involved in its day-to-day management, but will be handled by independent management, which has no direct relations to NIPOST's operations. As we speak, NASAL, which is an agency of the Central Bank, is employing and screening hundreds of young Nigerians to be employed for the new National Microfinance Bank, which of course will be taken off with 6 billion naira as seed capital, which is government is looking to extend as credit to farmers and small and medium enterprises in rural Nigeria. That's currently ongoing. So it's a D-Day for MTN Nigeria PLC's admission onto the premium board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. That listing will take place by about 2:30, just before the market closing gong today. The telco giant is bringing 20 billion shares at 19 naira per share, the first of such mega listing by telecom sector on the Nigerian bourse, some 10 years after Starcoms PLC listed. If you remember, it was in 2008, in July 2008, that Starcoms PLC listed 6.8 billion ordinary shares on the Nigerian Stock Exchange at 14 naira 33 kobo per unit. The shares went down to 2 naira 46 kobo by March 2009 because of the general market downturn we started in the first quarter of 2008 and issues relating to investors' monies who invested in Starcoms PLC. The stock exchange delisted Starcoms Nigeria PLC in June 2014 for failing to meet post-listing regulations as telecoms company's market cap plunged to 3.54 billion from 153 billion naira when it was listed in 2008. Today, Nigeria is going to see the incoming of MTN Nigeria PLC, the second telecom company to be listed on the Nigerian bourse after the fiasco that Starcoms PLC was in 2008-2009. Starting at that threshold of history, let's go to the trading floor of the NSE. It's yellow all over there as we speak. MTN coming through. Let's get Temple Ashaju, our business correspondent, to take us through how the market was faring just before MTN's arrival. Morning, Temple.
Morning, Boston. Well, the market is actually really ready for the coming of MTN today. If you come into the stock exchange, you see everywhere painted yellow. So we'll really wait to see what MTN is going to add to the market cap or the equity capitalization of the stock exchange by 2:30 p.m. today when the market closes. However, yesterday we finished off very bearish. It was the 8th consecutive session of losses that we saw yesterday in the market. And we saw that the year-to-date performance of the market expanded further to some 10%, while the month-to-date performance expanded to 3% yesterday. And of course, we lost on 51.3 billion naira off the equity capitalization of the stock exchange yesterday, where we still have the key benchmark indices left at 28,000 psychological line, but continues to depreciate way further. Our activity level yesterday was also very negative. We've got some 12% decline in the volume of transaction. We saw some 10 to 11 gainers, but there were more losers. That's 17 losers, which explains the sentiment of investors, which is very, very negative. Contributing more to these volume of transactions that we saw yesterday was Axis Bank, which gained some 74 basis points. We saw 36 million units of its shares traded at a value of 242 million naira. But if you go through all the sectors, basically all of the sectors were in red again yesterday. Banking segment was down by some 74 basis points. The consumer goods segment of the market was also down. The industrial goods segment of the market got some serious drag from CCNN, which now trades at its low of where it was as of January 2018. Some 13 naira 90 kobo is where we've seen CCNN trading now after it hit some 26 naira plus, sometimes this year. But it was really dragged. It dragged the industrial goods segment of the market yesterday, coupled with the losses that we also saw across Dangote Cement. The insurance side of the market wasn't different. That was also down by some 1.01% yesterday. We also saw the oil and gas segment of the market being pulled down by the losses that we saw on Forte Oil and, of course, Japol PLC. And those are the two key stocks that made some negative movements on the energy stocks that we track here on Business Morning yesterday. Forte Oil, after we saw some 65,170 units of the shares traded off yesterday due to profits taken, pulled down yesterday. Japol was also down. If you move further to the NSE O2C, we'll see some a kind of flattish performance there. It was a bit of a bullish tilt anyways, but then you see the USI coming in at 765.93, market capitalization at 550 billion naira. If you look at the volume of transactions, which was just 10,100, the 10,100 actually came from Graceland Campina Wamco PLC, which is tradable on that platform. And the three trades that we saw on that platform yesterday all came from Wamco, and of course, was valued at 1.71 million naira, which also pushed up the price to 170 naira. For the fixed income segment of the market, bonds yesterday experienced some kind of a mixed trading session. We saw sell-offs at the short end of the curve. We saw benchmark yields on the longer ends of the curve also experiencing some declines. And if you look at the 18th of April 2037 security, it was flattish yesterday. We saw the price remaining at 113 naira 53 kobo with the yields which didn't move from where it settled in the previous trading session, and that was 14.29%. And we move on to the treasury bill side of the market. If you look at the fact that we had some kind of a PMA auction yesterday, some 33.6 billion naira worth of offer from the central bank yesterday, that's kind of experienced a push down the yields yesterday, it pushed down the stock rates yesterday in the market. Activity level there was really healthy. We saw the fact that the secondary side of the market was also experiencing some good performance. Yields were down by some 20 basis points yesterday. And of course, we saw significant declines at the mid-end of the curve in spite of the prevalent demand that we saw across all the segments of the markets. Bosun.
Thank you, Temple. We have a big day there for MTN listing. The Senate Stock Exchange says the trading symbol will be MTNN. We need to start pushing this out to understand what is going to happen today. Temple will talk more later on this and others. Thank you so much. Everyone, let's stand by for about a minute. MTN is still the big story on the Nigerian market today, not just for the stock market, but for everyone who are consumers. How does it concern you?